Hello and welcome back to EA Tarot. It's Emily, and I just wanted to hop on and talk about my standout decks of 2024. I do have about 7.5 decks, and I'll explain that half a deck in a minute. But it was either, under 10 or over like 15 to 20. And I know that we don't really have the time for all of those. And so these are just the ones that really popped out in my practice. They're the ones that I gravitated towards time and time again. They are popular ones among clients and also decks that played a key part just in my personal practice. And so they're in no particular order. It's just, they're in no particular order. So let's just jump right into it. Starting off, we have my Tarot Vintage. Now, this is a deck that I, again, talked about in one of my previous videos. And I think for myself that just a lot of clients resonate with this because this is what they see. When you think of tarot, you think of Rider-Waite-Smith. And so I don't have many clones, and that's something that I'm definitely wanting to change in 2025. I want fun Rider-Waite-Smith clones. And so whether it's a tarot collectible version or something else that I find, I really just want to do some fun clones because as far as Rider-Waite-Smith goes, I have this and then I have my Centennial version. And they're great decks. Don't get me wrong. I love them so much. I love these muted tones. I think they're really pretty. And I just think they resonate a lot for clients and especially new clients, people who don't necessarily see many different variations of tarot. And so, he was my workhorse this past year. I love the muted colors here. Like, it resonates so well for me. And it makes it just such a dream. And so, this is my Tarot Vintage. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck. It was just one of my most reached for decks. And we're going to end that on the 10 of Pentacles. This is another deck that's been out for a while, and I love it so much. I love everything about this deck. I really do. The colors of it are really pretty. I don't know how well it's going to do. It's such a glossy cardstock. And a lot of people complain about this with their Liminal 11 decks. On the other hand, I love it. I really do. Like, it does feel a little cheap, but they feel durable. And so that's something that I love about this cardstock and these decks. And so, this is just one that I gravitated towards a lot this year. This was definitely, or the past year in 2024, it was something that I worked pretty intensely with, I would say from January to maybe June or July. It was kind of another one of my workhorses. Like, if someone, wasn't feeling my Tarot Vintage, then we would hop on to something with a bit more color and yumminess to it. And so, this is what we had. I love the colors of this deck. It is very flamboyant. And that's something that I don't have a lot of in my practice. I don't have many flamboyant decks. Like I said, I love my muted colors. I love dark and mysterious and moody. And this is very different from that. And I can really appreciate it. Now, this deck has the Emperor. Oh my gosh, how funny. Okay, so this card is basically the reason for buying this deck. I love this Emperor. I think it is so uniquely depicted. I love this skull on the Emperor. And I know a lot of people have problems with that. but for me, it was literally the reason why I jumped and bought this deck was for the Emperor. I really like that. It's not, he looks mean. He brings up maybe shadow traits you have surrounding father figures or those very structured elements and figures in your life. At least for me, it does. And so, yeah, I bought this deck purely for that Emperor. I love it so much. I love the colors here in our death card. These like blues and purples with pinks or something that I just don't have a lot of. And so I'm sorry about the light, guys. It's a little bit more difficult on this shiny cardstock. But yeah, this is my Cosmic Slumber. I love it so much. It's one that's going to stay in my collection for a really long time. It's one that I will read with clients. It's beautiful. It's a workhorse. I love it. And so, yeah, Cosmic Slumber. Now coming right into my Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle. You guys, this is the deck that I didn't know I needed. This is a Rockpool published deck by Ellie Grant. I love her artwork. I think she is a super fun, and look at the box, you guys. Like, this is simple things that publishing houses can do, and most of them do, but some of them choose not to, and I don't understand why, because this is so cute. It's adorable. We have our little cowboy hat on the front of the inside, and a little spaceship on the outside. I think it's really cute. Here's our guidebook. I don't reach for the guidebook too much, but I do like it. It's nice. We have like the color pictures. It's so funny that I opened to this card because this is my stalker card from this deck. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But yeah, this is my Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle. I'm not into sci-fi, I should say. Science fiction, I'm not really comfortable with it because I just don't really have a desire to be comfortable with it, if I'm going to be completely honest. But this is so fun. This is more than science fiction to me. It is, it's definitely like feminine genre deck. And I live in Tombstone, and so like we have a coffee house here called the Undertakers. And I don't know what it is, but I resonate with these cards. They're really cute, they're really creative. I love like the desert landscape here on this foreign planet. Like, that's home to me. And so like we do have like, you know, our sheriffs, and I think this just adds a really fun layer into my literal like everyday. Now, we obviously don't have aliens everywhere, but like this is just a really fun way to kind of see how my day is going to jive and any like little words of wisdom I can gain from it. But what made this deck an instant favorite of mine is the fact that I immediately had my stalker card, which is right here. We have the Hacker. It says, I will prioritize what is important to me. And every time I pulled this deck out, since the publisher sent it to me, I get this card. I opened up the guidebook just a little bit ago, and I opened right up to the Hacker. And so I love when a deck can give me a stalker card, and that's what this one does. It gave me a stalker card, and I pull it all the time. We also have like depictions, you know, of like five-eyed horses with their third eye, and I really love that. Like, I have horses. I am like a horsewoman, a cowgirl in a sense. Like, it hits home for me. And so yeah, this deck was super, super fun, and I just really appreciated it. Now, as I'm like sitting here going through these, there is something super fun that I think we could do with them. Oh my gosh. I kind of really, really like this. What do you guys think? Look at, I think it's their color palettes for me. They just go really, really well together. We have a lot, oops, sorry, of those pinks and purples and blues and greens. Like, I think these are very reflective of each other. And I'm really liking that. And so, no, I didn't read these cards together this year. I was only sent the Cowgirls and Aliens as soon as it was published, which I want to say is in September or October. It was definitely towards the later half of the year. But yeah, this might be something that I might have to work with in 2025. I think this could be super fun. Like, we have the, you know, the Magician with the Gunslinger and Six of Torches. Like, not only is it aesthetically pleasing together, I think that the messages on these could be really potent. So yeah, I think these are gorgeous together. But yeah, that is my Cowgirls and Aliens with the Cosmic Slumber. Both of them are set in this like kind of otherworld landscape. Moving forward, we have my Outlaw Oracle. You guys, this is probably going to be in just about every video I have because I adore it so much. This was like, I love these, this like gilding. This is so pretty. It's a fully photographic deck, and that just makes my heart happy. Now this, like my Cowgirls and Aliens, is something that like hits home in a realistic way. Like I said, I live in Tombstone. Prior to that, I grew up very small town. I had horses. You know, rodeos are something that the whole town goes to. My kids were in rodeo. Like, this is just a deck that hits home. You know, I had one of my friend's husbands many years ago had like a little moonshine thing in his bedroom. And so this is like the amount of relatable, I guess, content that's in here is insane, like in comparison to my real life. Like, we get our horned toads, and in the spring my kids will go out there and catch them, and then we'll touch them and put them in our little hands and then set them free. And you know, like, you have these welcome signs that are landmarks for your small town. And so this deck just resonates so much. I love it. We have our, you know, our keyword, some smaller keywords here. We have our element with the card number, which I really like. And then we also have some finer line writing on the sides, which also coincide with the card. And so the amount of you know, like, not research, but the amount of effort and the words that go to this deck, the guidebook, is phenomenal. It was not skimped on. If anything, you know, it exceeded my expectation. And so this is a deck that my oldest daughter, she loves it. She'll ask, you know, when she wants a reading from my Outlaw Oracle. It was created by Hillary Banks, and she is nothing shy of probably one of the fucking coolest people I think I've ever met on the internet. And so I love it. You know, I really appreciate her work. Like, we have the Sacred Heart here, and it goes with everything. It goes with the theme this deck has is insane. And so yes, this was one of my most worked with decks in 2024, and it's not going anywhere. If anything, I am diving further into this deck, and I am going to continue to learn it front to back because it's going nowhere. Now, I do know the creator said, I love this turquoise card, you guys, if you can't tell. This is phenomenal. I know the creator said that she is changing 2 of the cards in here. I think we have like the Good Timing Man and one other where they're very face heavy depictions. It's in here somewhere. And they're going to change it into something. I love this Our Lady. Oh my gosh. Yes, give me everything about this deck. I love it so much. But yeah, there's 2 cards in here that are going to be changed for the 2nd edition, and I can't wait to see that deck. I'm honestly probably going to have to grab that copy of the deck too. Oh yeah, here it is. It's the Good Timing Man. I think she's changing it to like a rough stock rider's buckle with a cigarette, and that's so good, you guys. Like, that embodies a Good Timing Man for sure in the realm and theme of this Outlaw Oracle. Moving forward, we have my Murder of Crows Tarot. Again, this is a low Scarabeo deck. It's like, I personify my decks, and I don't really care what you have to say about it because that's just who I am. And so this deck, I always relate it back. Now, some of my cards might be reversed because I am just an all-around very tactile person. And so I don't read reversals, no, but when a card's upside down in a deck, it doesn't bother me. I simply flip it over and I don't bitch about it because it's not a big deal. But this deck is, I always explain it as the goth best friend on Mean Girls. Why, Janice. This is like a Janice for me. It is very dark. It is very gloomy. It is obviously very plasticky cardstock because my ring light is not liking this, but it's okay. It's a limited color palette. Obviously, I have a special place in my heart for those. And so this is a deck that I normally reach for in the fall and again in the summertime. Hear me out. I live in, like I said, Arizona, and our summers are brutal. And I'm kind of like a cold weather person. And so, not even cold, maybe like cool, maybe like a nice 70 to 75 degrees is really where I flourish. And in the summer times when it's so hot, you guys, I will gravitate and I'll pull this deck out. It is a deck that I will reach for when I need that element of cool and relaxation. And a lot of people are really big on like shadow work in the fall and in October. And I'm really big on shadow work when I need that element of escapism and retreating into myself. And for me, that normally happens in the summer. And so I guess this deck serves 2 purposes. You know, for in the fall time, it is used for client readings. I love the way this deck reads. But I also use it more so in the summer with myself. I love this devil. But yeah, I normally use it for myself when I'm really needing that ability to just kind of break away from the heat and close the blinds in my office and get some incense going and a journal and my solid trusty pen. And we just, you know, we take it to the tarot notebook. And so I love this deck. Everyone's seen it. It doesn't disappoint. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that little horse right on top. Now we have my Death Doula Oracle. This is a really unique deck. It's really pretty. I love the back of these cards. The little gold dot is so cute with this like gold border. I'm not a big border person, but it works for this deck and I love it. Now, again, I think we can really see how much I love a solid photography deck. And like I said, I didn't really learn that about myself until I started sharing my tarot content with the rest of the world. I'm naturally a very introverted person. And so I think when you're so introverted, maybe you just have this ability, or maybe it's because I'm a Libra and my heads are always in the clouds, but I have this ability to just let things live in my head rent free, without ever really verbalizing them to get them out. And so with sharing my content, with Instagram and now you guys, I do see how much I love photography decks. And so this one, again, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's evocative. It is very intense, and it is something that for me, I need the guidebook. I need that like scope of reference. Otherwise, I can be in left field. It is a deck that I don't normally get very many intuitive hits from. I love this pleasure card, you guys. Look how pretty that is. Like, yes. Okay, yeah, I don't get very many intuitive hits unless it's something obvious. But even if it's obvious, it's, you can learn more about it in the guidebook. And so, yeah, this is my Death Doula Oracle. I really like it. It's really beautiful. It's not for everybody. I'm thankful to have it in my collection. Like these like sun and pleasure cards and that fear card are probably some of my most favorite ones in the deck. Like, I don't know. This is also really pretty. I do not shy away from reading professionally against some of the harder topics in life. And so when I'm doing that, this is a deck that I will use either solely for that or, in guidance with a tarot deck. And so this is nothing short of a hard-hitting deck. I mean, it's not cute, sweet, and to the point. It's cute, sweet, and it'll tear your heart open. And for that, I really love it. Lastly, we have my Momento Mori Oracle. Now, this is where my 7.5 comes from. It's not in its box because it lives on my ancestor altar. So here is, it's by Claire Goodchild. Have the expansion pack. And this is just a deck that lives, like I said, in my altar space. It's beautiful. It is a deck that I love so much. Like I said, just a little bit ago, I don't shy away from reading against the harder topics in life that clients might come with or come to me for. And spirit communication is huge. It is probably at the top of my practice. It is something that I hold very dear to me. And with spirit communication, this deck is literally my go-to for obvious reasons. Now in 2025, one of my goals is that I want to start working more and deepening my connection more to animal spirits. Now, like I said, it's something that I'm not new to. It's just something that I'm going to put at the forefront of my practice and really get that going. Like I said, I'm a horse mom, a dog mom. I have one kitten now who is absolutely adorable. Like, animals are a huge part of my daily life, and they're also a huge part of my practice. My ancestor altar mainly contains the ashes and manes and hair from animals that have passed on. And so they are the main ones on the center of my altar because I don't necessarily know a lot about my lineage when it comes to my mother and father. And so I don't really have a lot of that to base a full ancestor practice off of. And so I guess what I'm getting at is that my animals are my ancestors when they pass on. I think that's true of anybody who loves something for 30 years and then they pass on. They are family. And so, yeah, this deck is just, like I said, I can connect with others, people who have passed on with it for others, but my specialty is really in animal communication, and just spirit communication in general is huge. And so, yes, this is a deck that lives on my altar. It is gorgeous. It is a very clear reader, but also the guidebook is super useful. So I get a lot of intuitive hits from it. Like, I love this crystal ball depiction with the crossbones. You know, there's like a little skull in here. I'm really liking it. It's a gorgeous deck. And it's one that I reach for all the time. Like I said, it doesn't live in its container or its box. It lives right there front and center. And so, like, look at this witch's boot. I don't know. I think it's super cute. Yeah, it's a deck that I reach for. It's a deck that I will continue to reach for. I do not shy away from it. It is here to stay. And it was, yeah, one of my most standout decks with its little expansion pack. I love these little rats. I don't know. One of my most standout decks. Like I said, like, let me know down in the comments if you use any of these. And if you did, which ones you like the most, or which ones you would maybe want to use for next year or this upcoming year. But as always, I appreciate you guys being here. I thank you for taking the time and the energy to share this with me. And I look forward to more content in the future. We'll see you later. Bye.